Warming up doesn't mean you have to learn these boring exercises that you'll never actually use in music. So let's learn this riff that is going to use every finger. We're going to learn it in 4 different positions, and then we're going to look at how we can move this around in every single key on the guitar. So we're going to be using the tune Inhaler by Miles Kane. We're going to be playing this in every single position. This ensures that we're using every single finger combination and also gets our brain thinking a little bit when it comes to where our notes on the guitar are. We're going to do this in the original key of B, but you can actually put it into every single key. This will really make it a knowing the notes exercise as well. Let's jump into the main riff in the key of B. Here we go. As you can see, I'm using my 3rd finger on the 7th fret. This is our root note. Play that twice, 2 downstrokes. Then we're jumping to the 8th fret of the A string, flat 5, 4, flat 3rd. And that's in terms of fret numbers, 8, 7, 5. It's so important to get used to our actual interval names as opposed to fret numbers. So when you do transfer this into different positions and into different keys, knowing your intervals is going to be far more important than your remembering your fret numbers. So roots, roots, flat 5, 4, flat 3. Okay, so down, down, up, down, up. Then we're going to the flat 7th, which is the 7th fret of the D string, and we're chromatically moving down. Okay, so flat 7, major 6, flat 6. And that's up, down, up again. So now we have. Then we're going chromatically back up to the 6th, and then up to the flat 7th. And then up, down on that one. Up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down. As you can see, we're already using all 4 fingers, and we're using lots of different combinations of our picking hand and different strings. So great riff to actually warm up with. Let's move that and root off the A string. So this is the note B. The B on the A string is the 2nd fret. Now we're going to be using the 2nd finger on this one. You'll see why in a second. So we have the root. Now that's the same intervals as before. Flat 5, 4, flat 3. So kind of taking that from like the blues scale. Okay. Then we've got the flat 7, 6, flat 6. This time 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the G, moving down and back up. Okay, very different finger combination. This time using open strings. When you see the video of him playing it, he looks like he's playing it around this area. However, this one is actually probably a little bit easier under the fingers. Using open strings, you get a different kind of tone as opposed to a fretted note. So worth experimenting with those two. Now we're going to move on to the D string rooted position. Okay, so if we're looking at where the D is, the easiest thing is if you know your E and A strings, like I've done another video on knowing the notes on the guitar, the E string, 7th fret, to find the D string we go 2 frets along and then 2 strings down, and that gives us our octave, which is the same note. Okay, so this time we're going to start with the 3rd finger again, like we did off the E string, and that stays the same shape there. Okay, this time we're going to use the pinky because of the strings that are tuned differently from the G string to the B string. We're using what we call a major 3rd interval between the G and to the B. The other strings are tuned in 4th, so E to an A is a 4th, A to a D is a 4th, D to a G is a 4th, and then G to a B is a 3rd, and then finally B to an E is a 4th as well. The notes change slightly different. The notes are slightly different in terms of where they are located. So we have, then we're having to jump there, so it goes up a fret from before. Notice there we go to the same fret as the root note. This time we're having to jump a fret onto the 10th fret. Okay. So I'm using the same picking pattern because it relates to the timing. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2. Now let's move on to the G string root. So this is what I mean when it comes to using your brain a little bit. You're having to know the notes as well as trying to get used to the position. You can do this with any riff that you already know and just transfer it, but I think this one's just a great riff because it does force you to use 3 different strings for each position, uses every different combination of fingers, and it's a good one for your picking hand. So ultimately this is a great one to do, and as I say, doing it in different keys will really kind of push if you're finding just that one position quite easy. You get a bit more out of the actual exercise. So off the G string, we're going to be playing the second finger again. Okay, so we have a root note here, like before. So remember, 2 frets long, 2 strings down from the root note off the E or the A string. That finds us the 4th fret of the G. We're going to use the second finger again. So there's our root, then flat 5, 4, flat 3rd. Okay, then flat 7 will be here. So I'm visualizing where the root note is again. So I'm knowing that my root note is the 7th fret of the E string, so that will transfer to this high E string. So a flattened 7th is always a tone below, so 2 frets. So there's our flat 7. So root, flat 5, 4, flat 3, and then flat 7, 6, flat 6. So just to summarise, what string starts on each position? Well, our 3rd finger starts on the E string, then our 2nd finger will start on the A string, 3rd finger will then start on the D string, and then 2nd finger will then start on the G string. So I just do it once per position so you can see how each one are connected. As you can see on the screen right now, I've got the circle of fourths written out for you, and you could actually just take this riff in the key of C, do that in each position, each of the 4 positions, and then you can transfer into the key of F and do the same thing, and into the key of B flat, etc. So I just do the first 3 keys of the circle of fourths, so you can see how you can kind of use this as a note exercise as well as a really good finger warm up. Here we go. So key of C. So warming up your fingers is so important just before a practice or before a performance. So how do you warm up? Please leave a comment if you have any other exercises that really have helped you, not just warm up your fingers, but look at other areas in your actual playing. In the description below about the notes on the guitar video that I've done. Give this video a like and I'll see you next time.